Yo, what is going on, guys? Professor Loki here. Today we're continuing the series, Will It Affect Loki? And we're doing the patch 3.16. So, yeah. Sorry for skipping out the last patch. It was really nothing important. I'm pretty sure the last patch contained the Poison Star. And Poison Star, guys, does not work on Loki because it's crit. So that's why I didn't do one, because it should be obvious. Crit doesn't work on Loki. So, yeah. Now, before we do start this video, I have a special announcement to make. That is, school is starting up in a few days from now. Like I'm talking about, today's Friday, so on Monday, 2 days, we only have 2 days of break. So on Monday, school will start for me. So this means that Sunday will be the last video on a normal schedule. Monday and 4th, and so forth, will be in a unknown scheduling, which means that if I'm busy on that day, I will not record. If I'm busy on Monday, I will not record. I probably won't be though, but I already posted one on Sunday, so posting on Monday wouldn't make sense. And on Tuesday, I'd probably be busy as heck. I mean, on Monday we'll be given homework straight up. We won't get it. We don't get a 1 day break like how you guys get in elementary or middle school, whatever you guys are from. So if Monday is busy, 2 days is busy. If Wednesday is busy as well, and so is Thursday and Friday, and if the whole week is busy, I will not record, because if I'm busy, guys, I cannot record. Now, sure, I'm not gonna over exaggerate. I'm not gonna lie to you. Doing homework in high school does not take more than 2 hours, so I definitely have time to record. But the thing is, though, and I don't study because I don't need to. I get A's and B's without studying, because in high school you don't need to study to get A's and B's. So the thing is, when I finish, I'll be home around 4 p.m. because my school starts at 7:30, I think, and it ends at 3:27. And then I walk, which is like 15 minutes away. No, 5 minutes away, but I like to take my time. So I'll be home around 4 p.m. So then I'll do my homework, be around 6 to 7 when I finish it, and then I have 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'll have less than 4 hours to do whatever I want. Now, I can spend that 4 hours, not 4. It doesn't take me 4 hours to make a video, but it really depends how I feel, because after I come from school, I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything. I'm one of those people where once they come from school, they're lazy as heck and they don't like, you know what, I'm done with my homework, I'm just going to I'm going to chill and watch YouTube for the rest of the night. Every time I've been doing that for this entire school year. When I came from school, watch YouTube until I sleep. So I might record, I might not, guys. All I'll be saying is the scheduling is now abnormal. Do not expect a video every other day. Let's get back to this current one. So, that was very long, I'm sorry. So the new god, Izanami, if I said that right. If not, I don't care. I'm saying it right now. I really expect her to be an assassin, however, she is not, which is disappointing. Loki counters her, and she counters him. Loki counters her because Loki's dock can remove her stealth, because Loki is still the only god who doesn't get unstealth when taking damage. However, how she can counter you is that her ultimate has a silence, so it's like a Nox 2. And it's a very poor ultimate. Like, I thought it would be much cooler, but it's just a Nox 2, just recolored. Nothing special. Her 3 was Fade Away. Now this can counter you. If you ult her at a wrong time, she will avoid your ultimate with this ability, even though you ulted her. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that means you guys probably don't play Loki or haven't experienced this because you're lucky as heck. Probably because you always initiate first rather than wait for your ult. Wait for them to get low, then you ult them. Basically, if someone leaps, jumps, teleports away as soon as you ult them, it will show, like, my guy will say, like, behind you, and he'll stab the air rather than the person, because the person is already in the air, underground, or teleported away. So, yeah. Let's move on to the items. The ranking. Wait, no. Let's go to this. The ranking system. They made it where you can no longer triple Q. You can not. I think you can still dual Q, but no longer triple Q. This is bad because you now have another random in your team. Because ranks is all about luck. You'll either get good players, trashy players, or good players who are toxic as heck. But I mean, that's more common too. What I mean by good toxic players, as in they know what they're doing, they know how to play the game, but as soon as they see someone doing bad, or if they just do bad right off the bat, they will just blame you, like me. I'm just kidding. I don't blame people. You guys can go to my stream. I don't blame people at all. I promise you. The only time I do, though, is if I get super salty, which then I can't really do anything about that. I'm a human. It's alright. This is also a good thing now because you won't be fighting against pre-mates that much. So you'll be fighting against a duo queuers and a triple queuer, so it's fine. Alright, let's move to the more important things. Relic. So this will not affect Loki whatsoever because Loki does not have any obstacles besides this 2, but I highly doubt someone's going to use pop this active for Loki's decoy. If they do, that's a good thing for you. You might not get the kill, but their Phantom's down. So all they did is increase the cooldown and now made an AoE effect. Okay, who cares? This has nothing to do with Loki. Now move next. This is more of a positive change for Loki because the power is increased, sure, but the fact that it got increased makes it more viable. So if you see an Anubis getting this item rather than Pythagoras piece or Bankrupt's Talon, that means they'll be dealing less damage to you. But you yourself have no healing, so that's a good thing. And that's all. However, your team's going to suffer poorly. Well, let's do that. That's too bad for them. We really don't care about our teammates. So Magi's Blessing. This can affect Loki. If this gets in the game, if this becomes meta, please don't be meta. If this becomes meta, we should probably, it won't because the passive's garbage. If the cooldown on the passive's too high. However, if this becomes meta, make sure to wait for someone to pop the bubble rather than instead of you ulting, because if you ult them, they can still move around. So be aware of that. So this is a bad thing for Loki if it becomes meta. So it's a huge if. Pythagoras piece. This is a bad thing for Loki. One, because the power is still the same. It says reduced 70 to 60, but so what? They increased the order from 20 to 30. You'll still be getting 90 power. It's so stupid. And his passive lifesteal is increased. So this means that your buddy Nox will get more lifesteal, which means more sustain from your dot or your burst. It's not that huge, but it can make a difference. You know, all the time where someone survives with 1 HP, the reason why they survive that 1 HP is because of lifesteal or because of their, passive healing, their HP 5. Or health pause. So giving them more lifesteal is bad, and this is also an item that every Anubis is probably going to get now. It's a really good supportive item, and it's a really good item itself. So that's that. Spectral Armor, who cares? Witchblade, this will impact Loki a lot. For every Loki solo laner out there, I'm sorry to tell you, but you should probably quit soloing and go to mid or even ADC. Don't go jungle. Loki jungle does not work. I'll make a video explaining that later on, or you can check out Duke's channel. Duke's Locks channel contains a video thoroughly explain why it does not work on Loki. I would recommend why jungle does not work with Loki, and he explains it really well, so go check him out. Duke Sloth, that's his channel. This basically will increase the solo laner's protections by 15. This will also reduce your power by whatever, 20, or I don't know, something like that, and also reduces your attack speed. Attack speed isn't really a huge problem on Loki, but the fact that it reduces your power is a huge problem. So be aware, every solo laner out there, that you'll be fighting against a tier with Witchblade, you'll fight against Bologna with a Witchblade, Osiris with 100% Witchblade, because if Osiris does not get Witchblade, I don't know what's wrong with him. So expect this item. If you don't want to deal with the Witchblade, then please go Loki ADC or Loki mid. Preferably Loki ADC, because if you go Loki mid, then you have to have a magical jungle or magical solo, which isn't always good, and you'll lose a whole lot of AoE damage. So, now, who cares? Erlang Shen. This is good. This is good for solo laners out there. They made it where expect Erlang Shen to be less aggressive, and that's it. He'll be less aggressive. His 2 will still do a million damage, and it's so easy to land and it'll always root you. But expect it less often. So yeah, Fafnir doesn't even matter. We're gonna skip this. It has nothing to do with Loki. Hou Yi. Now this is huge on Loki. They made it where his first shot on his 1 will deal a lot more damage, but if it ricochets, it will deal less damage than it usually does. And that's about it. So meaning that this will influence Hou Yi players. So rather than instead of aiming it on walls and ricochet, he will aim it at you directly because it deals more damage, and the scaling is increased by 5%. However, the ricochet is reduced, so you won't see Hou Yi doing trick shots and missing and hitting hitting his own teammates rather than hitting the enemy team. And that's a joke, by the way. You can't. There's no friendly fire. But what I mean is, like, whenever I see Hou Yi doing his little bounce trick, it usually hits the other way and hits me instead. It's whatever. And then this thing right here, right? Mark of the Golden Bow. They removed the 20. Okay, this does not matter. This part doesn't really matter because Loki doesn't build defense as much. I build Breastplate of Valor, but that's for a different video. I'm not going to talk about my build. This doesn't really matter because Loki is already squishy, so 25% doesn't really, again, matter. So now this part right here. See, Hou Yi is now garbage compared to everyone else's views, but for a Loki view, this is a huge disadvantage to Loki. He doesn't even need to max his 2 anymore. Wait. What's the point of maxing his 2 besides the penetration that it gets? This will... what does Hou Yi's 2 do? I know all it does is reveal someone, it marks someone. So his abilities will do additional damage or whatever, or slow and stun. But does it do anything else besides that? Because the 25% is reduced. I'm pretty sure what it does is it increases the slow or whatever. It's whatever. So yeah, he only needs to put 1 point in his 2, and then he can just max his 1 and 3, and it's just easy. Easy said and done. This is really bad for all the... If you're a 1v1 or Loki and you have to fight a Hou Yi, I'm terribly sorry for you. You better ban Hou Yi from now on. Because if you don't want to, if you think you're good enough, then I'll tell you right now. Here's a trick to counter this, right? Keep a distance, or remember how far the Mark of the Golden Bow can reach. If you know the distance of it, then you can just keep away from that distance and then stealth beforehand. If you stealth beforehand, he can't mark you. So that's good. Now this is a good thing for Loki, right? His 2 is 18 seconds, right? And then his Mark of the Vanguard lasts for 15 seconds. Not Mark of the Vanguard, Mark of the Golden Bow. I'm sorry. As soon as the 15 seconds is over, he only needs to wait 3 seconds until he can mark you again. Okay, that's so OP. But now it's reduced to 10 seconds, which means what you can do is intentionally get marked, but play safe until the mark's over, and then attack him. You'll have 8 seconds to kill him. So good luck. Who cares? Who cares? Sylvanus. Now this does impact Loki a bit too. Sylvanus does counter Loki because he applies a lot of dot, and that dot chases you even though you are invisible. So not only if you in stealth, his wisp will follow you, so it'll give the enemy an easy trail of you, and then also once it does stick to you, like if it's in you or whatever the wisp does, it will hurt you. So every second it will hurt, showing the numbers above your head, meaning that they can see where you are. And same thing for his ultimate, but this is not his ultimate, but his ultimate applies a dot as well. Now, they made it where they increase his damage on his 1 and then reduce the cooldown on his 3. Meaning that if you don't get cooldown on Loki, which whoever doesn't, they need to stop playing Loki. Unless they're doing it for fun, of course. This will make it where if he can root you, right, and you can stealth, but stealth does not remove the root effect. So if that Sylvanus is smart, right, he'll know that Loki is still rooted there even though he's invisible. What he can do is do Natural Grasp on you. Pull you out of invisibility. Now, you're like, okay, sure, whatever. But then once your 1's up, which is 15 seconds, his combo's up as well. He can just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Expect a lot more tricks with Loki. Sylvanus is 3, so he can pull you more often. So be aware of Sylvanus. Do not underestimate him early on, especially. So yeah. This will also make it where he's more playable now. You'll be seeing him more in Conquest and more in just in general, which is bad for Loki, because he heals his teammates. And he applies a dot above your head, so that's bad. And tier, who cares? So let's just do a quick overview or review just about what we're talking about. So you counter Aizen while she counters you. Let's see. Ranks, okay, whatever. This doesn't even matter. This doesn't even matter. Well, this is more of a beneficial thing for Loki, not for his team, but for Loki. This is a bad thing for Loki, but it has a huge if people use it. Pythagorean speed. This is bad for Loki all the time because this gives his teammates sustain, which is not good. Only for magical though, obviously. So this doesn't matter. This is the second worst thing on this list. This will just make it where Loki is so bad in solo lane. So every solo laner out there, I'm so sorry for you. Loki solo laners, yeah. Other solo laners, good for you. This is good for Loki. He will be less poking. He has a choice to throw his 2 on the wave or on Loki. If he throws his 2 on the wave, you can poke him much as you want, guys. If he throws his 2s on you, well, there goes his wave clear. Fafnir doesn't even matter. We don't care. This guy is the worst counter. This is number 1 on the list, right? It's just this thing right here. All I'm gonna say is this thing. That's all I gotta say, right? Let's move on. Sylvanus, third worst on this list. His dot will just counter you. That's all I'm gonna say. His dot counters you. So, and he heals his teammates. Pain in the butt. So that's gonna be about it, guys, for the overview of, or the review of the 3.16 patch notes of will it affect Loki only. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I will continue the series whenever a new patch comes out, if it is impactful. If there's a patch where it's just literally fixing or that's about it, I'm not going to do a patch on... I'm going to read the patch first. I always read the patch notes before I do a video, guys. So if the patch has nothing to do with Loki, I'm not going to post a video about it. If it does, I will post a video about it. So I will be skipping some patches if they don't affect Loki. So that's going to be about it, guys. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, please post it down below. And as always, I will see you all Loki players next time. Ha ha ha!